There's a certain feeling that we've all been lucky to feel is when they turn for home, and we've always said, you know, you're not really mentally prepared for it when you win. You know, you can say, I'm going to win the Derby and all that. We can all talk about it. And it'd probably be like winning a big lottery. And all of a sudden, your horse is in front, and you're going like, oh my God, this is really happening.
It's an amazing event. You know, the Derby is just, as I'm talking about it, as you can see, my blood's getting up. You know, there's something about it, and it's just a great experience. But when you have to put, as Bob said before, and Pat has said many times, he has preached the gospel, you know, we're very blessed to be in this sport. We're blessed to have a horse in the Derby. And it's just frustrating because we got to go back. You got to go back, and you got to go back. And, geez, you know, after a while, you know, even though we've been so blessed to have won a couple, Wayne could tell you, Bob could tell you, I'm sure even Carl, Pat, and Calvin, you just want to win it again.
Well, the Derby is it's a complicated race. You got to have the horse. The horse takes you there, and I'm a great believer if a jockey on a good horse, they get to working together, they get to feeling each other, and they get confidence. If I can say this about street sets, if Calvin Borel would have pointed him to a brick wall, he'd have said, okay, let's hit it.
It's not changing, ma'am. I got a lot of, you know, people. I try to please everybody, but Mr. Carls calls me at 4:30 in the morning, says I have a horse for you to work, I'll be there. Okay, that's all I am, because I believe a lot in Carl, and you know, he's the one that got me there, and I got to give him a lot of credit. From the first quarter of a mile, I worked 3 cents. And, you know, I went home, told my wife if ever I was going to win the Derby, he was the horse, and I knew I had the person behind me.
You know, an interesting thing is, in this group here of 15 Derbies, we got one on the East Coast, one New Yorker. Everybody else has got a Western, Colorado, Texas, Kentucky.
Louisiana. That's
right down the line. Arizona, I knew Bob.
That's a great,
But Nogales, we're famous for tunnels.
which means one thing, the Derby must be spiritual because it brought all of us together.
There's only one Kentucky Derby, and you know it's the cornerstone of American racing. It's known the world over. Up until the time that I won the Derby, everywhere I traveled, when people discovered that I was not a basketball player and was in fact a jockey, the first question they would ask was, "Have you ever won a Kentucky Derby?" Kind of a long-winded answer to your question, but it was the highlight of a 32-year racing career.